What are the guidelines for screen time as you understand them?
No, I haven't come across one.
Amongst parents, there is a moral panic.
It's kind of like McDonald's. No one admits to going to McDonald's, but obviously people are going.
I do feel guilty about it in an extent because I'd rather him run around and play ball.
You really need to look at your own habits and the kinds of messages it's giving your child.
Technology's underlying power to improve our lives has been transformative. But all the while, little eyes have been watching.
Good boy. Can I put it down?
Can I play top?
And ask any mum, dad or caregiver, such as 3-year-old Zach's mother, Katia Genker, and they'll say parenting is being in a constant state of worry.
I mean, you do worry about lots of different things. Let's go play.
Are they eating right? Sleeping enough? Are they wearing sunscreen outdoors?
Having moved to Australia from Europe, we just became more aware of things like sunscreen use and sun damage. So it's easy enough to access information. There's lots of studies and research done about, the toxic products and sunscreens, non-toxic. You're able to actually make a conscious choice.
Oh, I can see you.
But unlike everything we know about the dangers of the sun, there's little awareness nor practical advice about children under 5 years of age using tablets and smartphones. What are the guidelines for screen time as you understand them for your children?
No, I haven't come across one. Phone down now? Yeah. Switch it off, sweetie. It's just not enough information out there. So I kind of tend to go by, better be safe than sorry, so trying to stick to the hour a day.
Alarm has begun to pervade the space where concrete guidelines about kids' screen time should be.
Increased screen time can impact children's development.
Amongst parents, just about all parents, there is a moral panic. And because it's a fairly new phenomenon, there's not the research yet to back up the best ways to use technology. We know where some of the risks are, but we don't know all of them. We know where some of the benefits are, but we don't know all of them.
It's easy for us to blame the technology and say, well, the screen is causing this behaviour or the screen is making this happen. And it's not the screen, it's people and relationships.
Of course, we're not the first generation to have our concerns about screens.
Sesame Street, a 20th century boon to learning, or all part of the process of turning kids into TV zombies.
Okay, I'll take the photo now.
Screen time anxiety has even spilled into popular children's programming itself.
Kids, it's enough of that thing. I'm sure Bob is sick of... Yeah, whatever.
The reality is there's very little research when it comes to kids under 5 using screens, and in practice we know they're using technology younger and younger. The main research and guidelines comes from the American Academy of Pediatrics, which says no screen time under 18 months, supervised use from 18 months to 2 years, and up to an hour a day for kids 2 to 5. But parents of toddlers are saying that these recommendations just aren't keeping pace with parenting in the modern age. This is the Malloy household, Steve and Alexandra, and 1-year-old Stella. Do you know what the recommendations are for how much screen time your daughter should be watching?
Yes, there are some recommendations about it.
The answer is no, we don't know.
What have you heard then?
Well, what I've heard, just like recently, is that you can't show the TV, for before the baby is 18 months or 2 years or even 7 years. And I think there is a lot of confusion and no single right or wrong answer.
It's kind of like McDonald's. No one admits to going to McDonald's, but obviously people are going. So I think there is a bit of a stigma in it.
Do you want to go downstairs?
Steve makes apps for a living and works from home, so much of his time is spent on technology around his daughter Stella. Unlike other parents, he sees the power of technology in his young daughter's future.
maybe if it's a snack for like 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes here and there, I think it kind of works, you know, kind of quite effectively to, you know, to sort of relax her and calm her down, especially, you know, if she's very upset.
But in practice, you find out that it's really quite exciting and entertaining, and kids do love it.
Early childhood education researcher Dr. Joanne Orlando says parents use technology sort of like an unsupervised pacifier.
Parents do use technology as a way of keeping children quiet or calm. So it might be waiting for the doctors in the surgery, you know, pull out your mobile phone and give it to your child just to keep them quiet, not running around. So there is that use, and that's happening in about, the research shows us about 75% of homes.
The biggest influence on kids' habits come from something called parent modelling behaviour.
One of the prime factors that a child looks to in terms of what's appropriate technology use is the ways that their parents use it. So if mum or dad are walking around the home holding their mobile phone always, it gives a child a message that your mobile phone is seriously important and it should always be with you. And it sort of prioritises technology use.
To help deprioritise technology, one Sydney restaurant recently implemented a no tech at the table policy. The attention and even backlash it received surprised owner Attila Yilmaz.
I stand by my belief, and my staff stand by it, that we want people to be involved. And this is not just based on children, this is adults as well. We want them to be involved and interactive and engaged in what we're doing.
I've seen it before where I've been out and like the parents are both on phones and the kids just sitting there, and I like, or the other way around where, you know, the kids are just glued to their phone. But I mean, it's nice to see people actually engaging with each other.
Lots of kids these days, they're on phones because parents can't take care of them, or they just use it as a distraction. But I've noticed as I've gotten older, younger kids have started to use technology more, and it's different because they don't learn like how to make conversation.
But even here, not everyone is fully on board.
If that's used to, for example, help someone with their conversation, look up a word that they might not know in a different language, or supplement what someone's talking about, I can see that as a really useful tool.
I think we may lose some customers, but at the end of the day, we'll gain the customers that we really want, that people want to really create long-lasting memories, which I think are really created in those first kind of 5 years of life anyway.
Who's that?
But Professor Susan Edwards says not all screen time is equal.
So even in situations where it is a time-based recommendation, the advice is still to make sure that you're attending to the quality of the content that your children are engaging with, that you do what's called co-viewing.
So we want kids to see the content, to solve problems, to be creative, and then to take what they're doing on the screen and then take it into new kind of play scenarios with their toys, or out in the backyard, or in their writing and drawing.
It's a balance that society is trying to strike, despite the costs.
I do feel guilty about it in an extent, because I'd rather him run around and play ball. But at the same time, as I said, it's just finding that right balance.